This is the first time I've driven any WRX with an automatic transmission, which is kind of cool, or the steering wheel on the right side of the car, for that matter. I can feel this switch starting to turn in my brain on flipping right and left. We're here in Tokyo, Japan at the Subaru headquarters, and today we're going to be driving this WRX with Touring Assist. It's a driver assistance package that we don't get in the US yet. It's a rainy day here in Tokyo, but we're going to take this out on the highway and see how the system works in less than perfect conditions. So we're on the highway right now and we're in a traffic jam, and this is actually a perfect time to use this system. So I'm going to poke on the cruise control button, hit set, and it sets the speed for me, and it has auto steer turned on automatically. So now it sees the car in front of me and it'll keep a following distance, and I'm not using the brake or the gas, and it's just keeping a nice distance behind him. What's interesting about Touring Assist and Subaru Eyesight is that it relies on these cameras, while a lot of other systems rely on radar and ultrasonic sensors, sometimes in tandem with cameras. But basically it's a different sensor suite that does the exact same practical purpose. In front of me on the digital display, on the left side is showing that the cruise control is set. The right side, the steering wheel being green, means that it's doing the lane keep assist. So I still have to keep my hand on the wheel, but it is keeping me centered in the lane, which is really helpful in a right-hand drive car. That little box in the middle shows that it sees the car ahead of me, and it's following that appropriately. It appears to turn off the automatic go after you've been stopped for a second, so I have to give it a little gas or hit the resume button to get it going again. But if you're only stopped for a second, it will start going again. But this is showing that the system's active, that it's steering, that it's following the car in front of us, that it sees it and the lane markings. So we're good to go right here. And it's actually a really good time to use this system is these stop and go traffic jams on the highway. Makes it a lot easier, takes a lot of the effort out of stopping and going. Also having an actual automatic transmission helps too. On the steering wheel, this button right here, I can set the following distance. This is like any other adaptive cruise control system, but I'll follow this guy pretty closely. And yeah, if I want to speed up, set the speed higher, I can just do that. But right now it's taking care of the cruise control and the steering for me. With this system, you still have to keep your hands on the wheel, just like almost any other system. So I have a 2004 Subaru WRX with a manual transmission, and as much as that's super fun to drive, I would much rather sit in traffic in this car with the stop and go functionality. My left foot would be getting pretty sore right now in my own car. So we're approaching 60 kilometers per hour, and at that point the system stops reading the car in front of you in terms of keeping the lane, and it can only use lane markings above 60, which right now it's not doing. There it goes, it found them again. The wet weather might make the steering above 60 kilometers per hour a little less precise. But right now we're back below 60, so it's following the car in front of us. Let's see, it's approaching 60. Let's see if it gives us some sort of signal that it's changing over. Now we're slowing down. This is steering really well through this curve though. I'm really impressed. I had to give it a little extra there. In some of the tighter corners, it doesn't want to keep steering on its own. So when I dial in a little more steering angle on some of these narrower curves, we hear a little ding and the steering assist turns off. Then it turns right back on automatically once it finds the lane markings again. So this system is pretty smart. It can do about basically all the same things as Nissan ProPilot Assist. It's not quite as capable as Tesla Autopilot. It can't change lanes for you. It can't do the hands-off driving that the Cadillac Super Cruise can. But other than that, it's doing a good job of keeping speed, keeping distance, keeping the lane, and coming to a complete stop and resuming again, which is super convenient in heavy traffic. As these systems get more robust, we're starting to see them integrate these different sensor suites. It'll be interesting to see what happens when computing power improves and see which sensor suites are used more and which are used less in the future. So we don't have a timetable for when this is going to come to the US, but it's currently standard on the Levorg and the WRX here in Japan. I imagine that this is going to make its way to the US at some point. Every other automaker is doing something like this in a push toward better assisted driving, making driving easier. And it's sort of a step toward autonomy too, although that's not what this system is at all. This is assisted driving.